This is Game Set Match Kentucky episode 32, recorded on Saturday, August 19th, 2023, entitled Big Bulky Boot. Hey everybody, it's time for another episode of Game Set Match Kentucky, where we talk about all things related to the Central Kentucky Tennis Series and probably a whole lot more foolishness that you never asked for. We're recording on Saturday, August 19th. I'm Chris Godby. I'm the chairman and one of the founders of the CKTS, where the lines are good, sandbagging is for golf, and no, we don't play pickleball. I'm here at my work office in Russell Springs. I got kicked out of the house again, Chad. This is the second show in a row. Laura, my wife, is having a Zoom meeting for work all day long. So she's using the good computer. And so I'm using the good computer at work instead. And you are at your home studio in Scottsville. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Okay.
Recovering a little bit?
Except for the foot story. I'll tell that story in brief a little bit later. But other than that, I'm doing okay. I feel really good. I got like 7 hours of sleep last night, which is great for me. So I am so refreshed and excited to be here after 2 months, almost exactly 2 months since our last episode. But I and you have had some things going on that have kind of gotten in the way of doing this. So I'm excited to be back doing it.
So what, our last episode was in June?
It was in June 20th, I think it was.
Wow, we've this calendar. I've played in 2 events since then.
Yeah, and we are down the home stretch. And so speaking of you playing in 2 events, it was great to see you when you came to Somerset for the Alton Blakely Lake Cumberland Open. You got to come by my house. You and I don't see each other a whole lot. We mostly see each other here on the video stream. So it's good to have you over and get something to eat for a while and visit. And so looking forward to seeing you again another time.
Yeah, I had a great time. I'd never played in Somerset before, so I wanted to get over there and play in that event, and had a good time, and it worked out well with both of our schedules. I was able to stop in, see your new project, and visit for a little bit, and had a good time, and came back to Bowling Green with some hardware on Sunday. So
speaking of that project, it's this close now. It's this close now, and I'll maybe talk about that more later, or maybe never. I don't know. We'll see. But on today's episode of Game Set Match Kentucky, point standings.
Hey,
at long last, point standings for the first 5 tournaments. These will be on the website as of today, but you may hear about them here first. Also, we've got a huge award to discuss that some friends of ours have picked up. And there is a major announcement in CKTS news about an upcoming tournament change. But let's begin, Chad, if you'll tell us about Vision Cabinet Source.
So this podcast is brought to you by Vision Cabinet Source. Vision Cabinet Source is a kitchen and bath cabinet supplier that ships all over the United States and has for over a decade. Whether you're building a new home or renovating a room in your home, Vision Cabinet Source can provide you with classic cabinet styles that are well built and affordable. You also find that they go above and beyond and provide service that exceeds expectations, from answering your initial questions to ensuring that you're happy with the final delivered product. Every Vision cabinet is built upon their promise to deliver well-constructed cabinets made from solid hardwoods, classic versatile designs that complement your style, affordable options that fit your budget, on-time delivery with shipment within 24 hours, and accessible personal service you can count on. They have many different painted and stained lines of cabinets that are stocked at their warehouse in Campbellsville. In making these beautiful cabinets, they have a 17-step finishing process that assures top quality craftsmanship. Go online and look at their styles and designs for yourself. You'll agree that they do great work at an affordable price. Check them out on their website at visioncabinet.com, or you can call them at 270-465-3222. Tell them you heard about Vision Cabinet Source right here on Game Set Match Kentucky.
I'll add this. I'm not just saying this because they are a sponsor. I mean, go to their website. They do have very nice cabinets. I'm not kidding. So I know somebody out there listening or watching is remodeling or building a house. Check them out because honestly, it's affordable stuff, beautiful, and you can get it pretty quickly from my understanding. So visioncabinet.com. Also, a sponsor is Family Medical Centers. They're a community health center with more than, Chad, let me stop right here for a second. You know, in our notes for this ad read, the previous season, they had 155 locations.
Okay,
now they have more than 200 locations.
It's more people that have been hearing about it on the podcast.
See, that's exactly what I was going to say. You've got to think that maybe it has something to do with our promotion of them. I don't know. But they do have more than 200 locations throughout South Central and a portion of North Central Kentucky in 31 counties now. They've been providing health care to Kentuckians for over 16 years. They provide complete primary care services and also offer pediatrics, OBGYN, oral health services, school-based health centers, behavioral health services, substance use disorder treatment, a pediatric wellness program, a workplace wellness program, a discount pharmacy program, outreach services, local scholarship opportunities, and more. Family Medical Centers has been recognized as a national quality leader by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Check them out on their website at cfmcky.com or on Facebook at facebook.com/Family Medical Centers. And their Instagram and Twitter handles are Cumberland FMC. Also, a big thank you to Cumberland Family Medical for recently renewing their sponsorship of this podcast. They've been with us for a while.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Our top story today. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And we're glad to see they're growing and serving more communities throughout the Commonwealth.
Fabulous. They're in Warren County schools now, I understand.
Yeah.
Healthy Kids clinics.
I know they had, I was at the school for some coaches meetings that we had to do some training, and they were actually doing physicals. This is before school started, and they were doing physicals right there in the main entrance to the school. And so that's, I'm glad to see they've made it into Warren County as well.
They're growing for sure. Well, let's talk about a facility award for Warren County. The Warren County Tennis and Sports Facility was recently selected to receive the USTA's 2023 Outstanding Facility Award. The award recognizes both the quality of the facilities themselves, as well as the quality of programming offered. Representatives from the facility will receive the award at a ceremony in conjunction with the U.S. Open in New York City. I've heard of that tournament.
Yeah.
On August 28th. Chad, you've worked at the facility since it opened a few years ago. You, I understand, are going to go to the Big Apple.
Yeah.
To be one of the recipients of this award. What can you tell us about how this happened and what it means to you and Warren County Parks and Rec?
Well, I knew about the Outstanding Facility Award, partly because of some of the other facilities in the state who have been recognized in the past, specifically the indoor facility in Owensboro as a past winner, and also Top Seed in Nicholasville was a past award winner. So, I started working at the facility when we opened in November 2 years ago, and so I started to put together. I started thinking about nominating the facility because I felt like we had a pretty good chance of possibly being recognized. And so I put together all the material. We didn't win last year, but I did do a little bit of research and found out that a lot of facilities won in their second year of operation. I don't know if that's done intentionally, just to make sure they make it past a year.
They're still clean.
Yeah. So we applied again, and you can apply several times. If you don't win, once you win, there's a window where you can't apply after that. So we put together what we felt was a compelling case for the facility to be recognized. I hope people have made their way out there. We've hosted a number of of USTA events. We hosted the 55 state championship earlier this year. We've hosted the mixed state the last couple of years. Clearly, we've had some CKTS tournaments that have used the indoor and outdoor courts. So I feel like a lot of people, we've hosted the USDA's meetings. So I feel like a lot of people across the Commonwealth have been able to check it out. But if they haven't, we'd love to have them. And we're very proud of our facility. And so we put that submission together, and we were fortunate to receive that award. So, it's a big honor to be recognized. It really is nice to. It's a nice way for the tennis community, even at the national level, to show appreciation for what our fiscal court and our magistrates and our previous and current judge and some other community leaders, all the hard work they put in to get that facility built. It's nice to be recognized for what we think is really a first-rate facility.
It absolutely is a first-rate facility, and I look forward to every time I get a chance to go there. I look forward to it. It's a beautiful place, and congratulations to all of you who run it and maintain it and keep it that way. So
yeah, so it'll be really exciting. I've never been to the Open,
mm-hmm.
We're going to be there next weekend. The ceremony is going to be on Monday, so we get a grounds pass on Monday, and then there will be a ceremony on Monday. Not on the court; it'll be kind of in a conference room. And then I'm going to stay up there for another day on Tuesday, and I have a friend who got me some access to Tuesday, so it should be a really great trip. I'm really looking forward to it.
I got to go in 1998 and in 2001 to the U.S. Open. It was really exciting. Arthur Ashe Stadium was very new at that point. I didn't see a lot of matches in Arthur Ashe Stadium because my seats were in the nosebleeds. So it was better to go to the smaller courts and you could get closer. The grandstand court was a fun place to watch matches. I remember watching Serena and Venus. They were up like 6-1, 5-0 on these girls in doubles. And my friend Cliff and I left early because we thought it's over, and the girls came back and beat them in that match.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, that happens to all of us. So congratulations again. You mentioned some other facilities like Top Seed. They've won this national level award also, them and some other Kentucky facilities.
So the USTA kind of separates facilities into different categories. You have smaller public facilities. That's, I believe, 6 courts and less. And then you have larger public facilities, which are 6 or more courts. And we obviously, with the indoor and outdoor, are in the larger category. Top Seed is in the larger category. I'm not sure. I think Owensboro was probably in the large category as well because they have 6. So then they have private facilities that they recognize, large and small, and then they have school-based facilities that they recognize as well. So we've had a lot of facilities recognized over the years. There's actually 2 Kentucky facilities being recognized.
Right, that's what I was looking up
year.
Right now because I thought I had seen something about that.
The facility in Henderson, the outdoor courts there, which I've never been able to play. I'd love to go up there because they're right on the river. But that facility was also recognized as one of the outstanding facilities.
So they won at like a different size level.
I think so.
Okay,
I think so. They're probably a small public, and we're a large public.
Okay, it's called the Doc. I'm probably
Hosbach. I don't know.
Hosbach. I'm probably mispronouncing that. I apologize. Doc Hosbach Tennis Complex in Henderson. So congratulations to them also. Quite an honor for both of your institutions.
I think all told, there's somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to 25 that are going to be recognized this year. And each year it depends on how many are nominated, how many they give out. So I think we had a pretty large group of nominations this year, and so there's quite a few that are going to be recognized next week.
So if they do all different size levels like this and have that many different facility awards, like what if I built like a clay court in my backyard or something? Do you think I could try to win that one year?
Maybe.
It's something to think about.
The thing though that I did realize when I got in the nomination process, a year and a half ago, Was it, as you said, it's not just about the facility itself, but it's also about the programming that you
Programs.
offer, and that's something that Soki Tennis has really, in partnership with Warren County Parks and Recreation, we've tried to develop programs for all ages and all skill levels, and try to make sure that at the facility, we have the classes and the clinics that meet all those different groups.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, enjoy your trip. I know you're leaving in about a week. And how long will you be in New York?
So I'm flying in Sunday to do some touristy stuff, and then I'll fly back Tuesday night.
Very good. Very good. Well, have a safe trip, and for the fourth time, probably. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Speaking of congratulations, let's look at who needs to be congratulated for their success so far on the CKTS this summer by checking out our point standings. Some things in life you can be certain of are, unfortunately, death, taxes, and you can be certain that the point standings are going to take forever to finally come out, but they're out. And they're on the website today at cktstour.com. And we're about to take a look at them. If you're watching the video version of this episode, you're going to see them on your screen. Or if you're doing the audio version, just listen along as we name the people at the top of the divisions. And there are some names missing from here, Chad. This is a reminder that only CKTS members appear in the point standings. So if you've seen the list and you're missing, that's probably the reason. But if there's a mistake, you can contact me at info@cktstour.com if you think something is wrong with the point standings. But if you're not a member and you want to be in there, it's not too late. Go to cktstour.com, register for a $15 membership. Boom, you're back in the point standings, and you get discounts on the next few tournaments that we still have left on the calendar. So let's check them out. Chad, you want to go first with
men's open singles? Right now, Braden Johnson is leading the race. He has 5.5 tournaments. He just won the tournament in Somerset, and Skylar Lee is a 1.5 behind with 4 points.
Okay. In men's B singles, Claude Benford is in the lead by 4 points over June Tomioka, who is in second place with 6.
In men's C singles, Kyle Owsley has a 1-point lead over Jamison Roberts. Both have had success. They both won a couple tournaments. Kyle's won 3 and Jamison's won 1. So that race is really close with 3 tournaments left.
Yeah, it looks like that one's going to come down to the wire. They may face each other this weekend. I'm not sure. Men's 40 and over singles right now, Jackson Grover is in the lead over Brandon Harris by 4 points.
That's an interesting one because they've played each other the last 2 events. I think Jackson
they've
better
split
of them
titles, yes,
in Campbellsville, and then Brandon beat him in a third set tiebreaker in Somerset. So that one's been really close.
Yeah, definitely.
In boys 18 singles, again, Braden Johnson has a commanding lead. He has 16 points. That's an 8-point lead over Jackson Donovan.
He's going to be hard to catch, but anything's possible. In boys 16 and under singles, Sam Nelson has the lead right now with 13 points over Nolan Parsons with 6.
In boys 14 singles, Miles Mudd leads the way with 6 points over Ethan Coe, who is 3 points behind.
Okay, in boys 12 and under singles, Isaiah Litton has a commanding lead right now. He has 15 points over Ben Grubasic. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Ben Grubasic with 4 points.
Back to men's open doubles, and Mason Baldwin.
Oh, wait, let me take this one. Okay, we got a 3-way tie at the top. And this is listed alphabetically. That's why Chad Young is in the 3rd slot. Okay, but you are tied for the lead with Brandon Harris, who was your partner in Somerset, and Mason Baldwin. Now, let me give you a little bit piece of advice here. You can't win this division unless you play it twice. So Brandon or another partner need to get in one of these other tournaments.
Well, Brandon's playing this weekend.
Okay.
He's playing with another partner because I told him I couldn't play.
Okay.
I'm dealing with a little bit of an elbow issue, but I also have to work tonight. So it was just going to be too difficult. So I'll have to see how he and Nate Harlan do this weekend, and then maybe try to play in the Glasgow event or the other E-Town event.
Well, that those events may not be exactly as listed.
Well,
We'll,
but
we'll get to that.
I
'Cause
just
you're
called it the
gonna have some time.
Glasgow event. We won't.
Okay, you're gonna have some time to maybe
maybe
heal
heal
up.
up a little bit.
Yes,
All right.
yes. Okay, let's. You take men's B
Okay,
doubles then,
so
please.
men's B doubles, Jun Tomioka has a lead over Van Patterson, a couple guys from the E-Town area. June with 13 points, and Van is at 9.5 points, so he is about 3.5 points back.
Let's say this about June. Okay, I don't see him listed playing Campbellsville. Let me go back to men's B singles, and there's a reason why I'm doing this. Let me go back to men's B singles for a second. He did not appear to play that one in Campbellsville either. I'm wondering if he had to skip that tournament altogether. And the reason I mention that is I think he has played
It's like 2 or 3 years in a row,
three
right?
straight years, every single tournament. And I hope he didn't have to miss that one and break his streak. That would stink. But anyway, so that's men's B doubles. Men's C doubles right now, Evan Brown and Isaiah Litton are tied for the lead there with 8 points each.
Men's 40 doubles, Jackson Grover leads the way with 8 points. He's won the last two with two different partners, and those two partners are in second place, both with 4 points apiece. That's Chris Atkinson from Somerset and Wade Stone.
Well, I'm going to say actually Philip Nunn is in second place right now because he qualifies by playing twice. So these other guys that are a few slots ahead of him, their name's in blue, meaning they haven't yet qualified by playing 2 times in this division. So, it's not going to take much for somebody to jump right into second place if they get the opportunity between now and the end of the season. Was it my turn or yours?
I believe it's yours.
Okay. Boys 18 and under doubles. Sam Nelson and Nolan Parsons are tied for first place with 6.5 points each. They have not been doubles partners either. So that's kind of a coincidence that they are tied for the lead. But with 3 tournaments to go, anything can happen. Let me
That's a close race too. I mean, there's like 3 guys that are just a half point back.
with just a half point back, there's 3 more guys, and they have played enough to qualify. So it'll be interesting to see how boys 18 doubles comes out. Right now in women's open singles, no one, ladies, has qualified for the title because no one has played it twice. Now I can't speak about this weekend's Gator Open. I don't have that draw in front of me. Maybe one of these ladies is playing that, but you got to play an event twice to qualify to win it or get an award, and you've got to be a CKTS member to qualify to win that award. So the same story is here in women's B singles. We've had 4 women play. Let's just stop and discuss this. Let's theorize on this for a second, Chad. Why do you think women don't play singles in tournaments? And it's not just us. It's not just our tournaments either. I think this is.
I don't know, and I know
you got to be careful.
Yeah, I don't really know that I know the answer.
Okay,
but this has been something that we've seen for years on the tour. Women's Open certainly, and even women's B is usually a smaller draw. For some reason, it seems like women are just like men. When they start playing, they play singles, but then once the women have played for a few years, they just prefer playing doubles more than singles.
Yeah. Maybe it's the security of having a partner on the court with you. Maybe failing as a team instead of failing alone. I don't know.
I also think that I think I play tennis for the social part and the competitive part, and the older I get, the harder singles is.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And sure. I think there are men who play for the physical fitness part of it and play singles. I think more women are in it for, like I am, for the social and the competitive and doubles. The older you get, is probably more attractive, because our girls singles, I mean, our girls
Yes.
18s and our
Right.
girls 16s, they're packed, but it just
Yep.
seems like maybe more women as they get older care more about the competitive and the social more than the fitness part of it.
So, ladies, sometimes we miss someone appearing at a tournament and they say, well, I couldn't find a doubles partner. Well, if you really want to play, you can also play singles. It's good fitness, and it's a chance to get out on the court and compete and meet some new people. So think about it. We're still going to offer women's singles divisions. So come out and play.
Girls 18 singles, Addison Hales leads the way with 7 points. She is 3 points clear of Maggie Adams and Chloe Dickens.
All right. Girls 16 and under singles, Paisley Harris is in the lead with 12 points, followed by Abby Helm and Emma Walker, tied with 5 points each.
Paisley's got a pretty good lead in the 16s. She's got a commanding lead in the 14s. She has 16 points. The next closest player will be Ava Walker, who has 5.
She probably has a really good coach, or at least an adequate coach. I don't know.
Or she's doing it despite of her coaching.
Yeah. Girls 12 and under singles, Leela Owsley is in the lead right now after playing 3 tournaments. She has 7 points, followed by Ravenor Dhaliwal and Ellie Yan with 4 points each.
In women's open doubles, Minda Schaefer has a 1-point lead over Claire Riney, and it looks like both of them have qualified, but there's a number of players behind them that haven't qualified. So if they were to have a good result this weekend, they could possibly jump into second place.
That's right. Women's B doubles has a bit larger list. Amber Wolf is in the lead right now with 14 points, followed by, I think, her sometimes doubles partner, Allie Evans, with 8 points.
In girls 18 doubles, we do have a tie for first right now, and these are 2 players who have not played together. Addison Hales has 7 points, as does Parker Lowry, who has 7 points as well. And then Claire Riney is 2 points back with 5.
In mixed open doubles right now, Darren Polston has the lead as the male leader with 7 points, and Abby Helm has the female lead with 6.5 points.
And then in mixed B doubles, Amber Wolf is the leader for the female side. She has 12 points, and Philip Nunn is in first place right now for the men with 10 points. He's 1 point ahead of Brian Coley, and Allie Evans is 2 points back of Amber for second on the women's side.
Amber's name is going to come up again in this episode. I have a feeling
too.
Yes. And then finally, in mixed 18 and under doubles, the male leader right now is Samuel Bryan. We do not have a qualified female leader right now. We have a few that have played one time, but they need to play again to qualify to win. So get out there and sign up. Those of you that are hidden on this list right now need a membership. So sign up at cktstour.com for your membership, and you'll appear in the points. And from going the rest of the way, we'll get the updated points out a little bit faster. I say that every time, so I have to say it again this time.
But it's awfully, doing one tournament is a lot easier than trying to do 4 or 5, which is kind of where you're at.
See, I have this thing that I believe in called procrastination. First, I saw it as, like an ailment, but now I've decided to embrace it, and that procrastination is me, and I'm very good at it. And I want to be the best at it, competitive.
Brings out the best in you. Some people do their best work, when the deadline is approaching.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, that is how a procrastinator operates. Often you need that deadline just about to punch you in the face to motivate you to get something done. Well, enough about that. Enough psychology for right now. Let's look at what's coming up in tennis. Okay, on the CKTS Tour, we got the Gator Open happening right now. Beautiful day. It's going to be hot. but it's going to be clear and dry. That's going on in Bowling Green right now as we speak. I am not there right now, obviously, and you're not there, obviously, but I am not there embarrassing myself with my abundance of unforced errors on the mixed doubles court because I had surgery on my right foot. I have a partially torn Achilles. I think I did mention that on the last episode, but at that point, I didn't know that I was having surgery. I didn't know that I was going to need surgery. But I saw a foot and ankle surgeon in Nashville, and he looked at the MRI and he said, "You could play on it if you want, if you can stand the pain, or I can try to fix it for you." So I decided I think I would like to fix it because I don't really like pain. He wanted me to think about it. So I went home from that visit, and the next day I decided I'm going to jog a little bit and see how it feels. I took about 4 steps jogging, and I was like, no, no, it's not going to happen. No. So he had a partially torn Achilles, a bone spur behind it that was irritating it as well. And on the side, on the outside, on the lateral side of my foot, I had a ligament there that was stretched or something from an ankle sprain that happened at your tournament, by the way, Chad. So that's kind of your fault.
I understand.
Do you remember that when I was playing at night with Trina in mixed doubles? We were playing the Polstons, and we were the last match on the court. This was like in 2018, maybe 2019, possibly. It was at Kyriakis, and I jumped up to hit an overhead.
Now
and
I
as
do
I
remember
left the ground, I got a leg cramp, and I like yelled from the cramp, and came down funny and landed and rolled that ankle. So I sort of like stretched a tendon or a ligament or something there, and the surgeon fixed that too. So I am wearing right now this big bulky boot, and it's heavy, and it's keeping my foot in place and keeping me from injuring it further while it heals. So I hope to be I'm very faithful to my physical therapy, and I hope to be back on the tennis court by spring. So that's about as best I can hope for right now.
So what do you think that's going to be in terms of how many months since you last played tennis?
Well, I last played tennis in very early April in a mixed doubles league in Somerset, and I was having some pain then. It was new pain. I didn't know what it was. Ended up going to a foot doctor and found out it was my Achilles. I was advised at that time to rest and ice for 4 weeks and then come back, and it hadn't gotten any better. So then that's when an MRI was ordered, and I was ordered to rest another month. And then I was ordered to start physical therapy and still continue to stay off the court. And now we're deep into June, and it just never really there were days when it felt okay. But like if I ended up on my feet for too long, walking or standing, I would pay for it later. So I knew something was wrong, and I went to a surgeon who, then has repaired it. Hopefully he's supposed to be one of the best, and I'll shout him out if it works, but I'll wait and see. I'll wait and see. So I haven't played tennis since early April. So that's 4 months.
So it's probably going to be 9 months to a year. Right?
I've heard anything from 6 months to a year. So if it's 9 months, that puts me back on the court in the spring. 9 months from surgery.
Yeah.
Not 9
well,
months.
I mean, if it's
injury,
let's say it's March, I mean, then you're looking closer to 11.
Yeah, let's see. July, August, September, October. I have to count on my fingers. August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. April would be 9 months since surgery.
Oh, so, but I mean, since you played.
Oh, since I played, yeah. Then it would be 11 months. Yes.
So it's. I mean, that's. I don't know that since I started playing again. That's been 17 years ago. I don't know that I've taken that long of a break. It'll just be a big adjustment to get back on the court when you haven't played that long.
Well, even while running the CKTS, I think I was off for like 5 years one time, just because I have had, let's go through my medical history. I have had 3 shoulder surgeries on my racket arm, my right shoulder. I've had 3 shoulder surgeries, and I've had 1 elbow surgery on my right elbow. And they were all within a few years of each other. I would get surgery and kind of recover some, and then it would flare up again and had to be fixed again or whatever. There was a point where I think from like 2013 to 2018 that I barely played much at all and got really out of shape. And, so 2019, I think it was, I got healthier and started eating better and lost some weight and started playing all the time. And I played every one of our tournaments for 3 years, I think, basically 3 years in a row. I may have had to miss something for travel, but I was healthy. But I've missed all of them this year, obviously, and I really miss it. I mean, you appreciate 2 healthy feet, even if you're not playing tennis. You appreciate 2 healthy feet because I'm puttering around on crutches and a scooter, and I'm getting there though. I'm optimistic.
Good. I've played in 2, and that's probably more than I've played in most years. I rarely get to play on my own. And Trent always gets upset with me, but Glasgow just never seems to work. It's the closest. I played Campbellsville before. It had been 10 years since I played E-Town.
Yeah.
So I wish I could play more, but the schedule just gets so packed.
Well, you mentioned Glasgow, so let's go to our major announcement. Okay, this is big. Everybody ready? Everybody sitting down. All right. This year, there will not be a Labor Day weekend tournament at Glasgow. The Glasgow Open has been traditionally held on Labor Day weekend for the last several years. They are behind schedule on court reconstruction
at Barron County
High School. So,
and Gorham Park is not in really good shape.
Gorham Park is not in good shape either. I don't know if there are plans for that or not, honestly. But the tournament director and CKTS board member, Trina Rickard, felt that it's probably best to give that weekend up or give this slot on the schedule up to someone else this year. And hopefully her courts are ready for spring, maybe for her spring high school season. I don't know exactly when the plans are for that, but they are going to supposedly fix those courts there. So what we're going to do instead is Campbellsville is going to have a second tournament this year. And it's going to be directed by Amber Wolf. I said I was going to mention her again. It's going to be, and because we needed to find a time when we could get Miller Park and we could get Campbellsville University courts, because we needed both of them at the same time. It's going to be at the end of September. So it's going to be September 30th and October 1st in Campbellsville. And this tournament will be called the Campbellsville Championships. And so that's all going to be on the website this weekend. And so that's going to replace this year's Glasgow Open. We will be off on Labor Day weekend. So enjoy that time. Maybe you can find something else to do. I know I'll miss it. I can't play anyway, but I'll miss it. And so the next thing we'll do is the Freeman Lake Fall Classic. So that's September 16th and 17th. That's our next tournament. The entries for that are going to open on Labor Day Monday. That's September 4th. The deadline for that is Tuesday, September 12th at 6 o'clock. Chad, do you have anything to add about any of this?
No. I really hope that I hope the people, I know there have been some efforts, and I'm Terry Bennell and I have talked about some efforts that have been made. I mean, Glasgow's a great community.
Yes.
I'm excited that Campbellsville will get another tournament. I really, just for the people of Glasgow, wish their court situation was better. They've held the Weldon tournament in Bowling Green the last 2 years because the facilities in Glasgow are just in poor shape. They're in worse shape than they ever should get. And I hope that the tennis community there will let folks know how important the game is and Glasgow's a great tennis community. It's just a shame that their facilities have gotten the way they are. Because I'm hopeful that Barron counties will get better. They've been in rough shape the last couple of years.
Yes.
They're worse now than they've ever been. And Gorham Park's been bad for a couple of years. And I don't know if there are efforts to.
Now, you probably know more about this than me, but like I've always been told that a tennis court should be resurfaced every 7 years. And I've seen some last a whole lot longer than that and be in great shape. But is that kind of the guideline you've heard before?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard 5 to 10, depending
Okay.
on
For a hard court.
for a hard court.
Uh-huh.
5 to 10 depends on where they're at and how much use and how often they're cleaned and whatnot. But 5 years is probably on the front end, but 5 to 10 is pretty average, I think.
And this is something that I've noticed is that when they do start to need resurfacing, they go downhill quickly. So it's not that gradual. It's like when the surface gets to a certain point where it has eroded, begun to erode, I guess is the right word. Then it kind of goes pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So and I don't want to knock on any schools or parks in Glasgow or anywhere, but I think sometimes this is the line of thinking by parks people or city officials is maybe they don't play tennis, first of all. So they don't know what a quality court is like and what a truly playable court looks like. So they may have in mind, yeah, we've got tennis courts. We mow around them and blow the grass off of them. They're good. They got nets.
And if you're looking at it from the parking lot or the sidewalk or the street, you may not be able to see that
a tennis court can look fine from the parking lot or driving by, but once you walk out there on it, ooh, look at these cracks, or these low spots that are leading to cracks. And and I know that parks and schools don't always have money, and tennis is not always a priority, but that you've got to keep up with them or you're going to lose them completely is what I'm trying to say, I guess. So we're replacing Glasgow this year. Amber Wolf is one of the coaches at Taylor County schools, and she is extremely excited to do this, and that's great. So she's already begun making preparations, and this all just came together this week. So watch for that on the website. The signups for that will be Monday, September 18th, with a deadline of Tuesday, September 26th. And again, don't forget about our next tournament, the Freeman Lake Fall Classic, and entries will open on Labor Day, Monday, September 4th, with a deadline of Tuesday, September 12th. For any of our tournaments, folks, you've got 9 days that entries are open. So don't wait till the last minute. Sometimes we get crowded on the last day, or our website gets crowded on the last day of signups, and we experience crashes and slowdowns. So get in there early to avoid that, or just to avoid a division getting full before you got in it. Sign up early. Sign up when the entries open, and put that on your calendar. You can go to cktstour.com to register for any of our events and see our complete schedule. Our tournaments are USTA sanctioned for juniors at level 6. Chad, that's some CKTS announcements. I wonder if you had anything to share about what's coming up for the Southern Kentucky Tennis Association.
We have a couple exciting programs. We're getting ready to kind of resume our programming in the fall. Bowling Green Parks and Recreation has some summer programs, and then we kind of pick up in September when people start to move indoors a little bit. So we have men's drill clinics on Tuesdays, women's on Mondays. We're also launching 2 new programs this year. One starts in October. The other starts in September. The one in September is for adult beginners. We have a lot of adult beginners that take some lessons or do a beginner clinic. What we're hoping to do is move them into kind of a match play situation, kind of the transition from a lesson or a clinic before they make the leap to maybe playing USTA League or playing in a CKTS tournament. That could be a big jump. And so we're going to have a beginners doubles strategy 101 clinic that starts in September. And it will be 4 weeks, and it'll be a mixture of drills, but also match play. It'll involve a classroom aspect to go over rules and go over positioning and go over strategy. So we're excited about that. And then we have a junior league that is starting this fall. That's going to start in October. It'll run on Monday nights in October, November, December. And basically what we're trying to do is try to get some of our best junior players, regardless of school, to play competitively against each other. And so we're going to have an advanced group that's going to be a UTR of 4+, and then we're going to have an intermediate group that is for UTR 2+. And so registration is open for that, but there's only 12 spots available because we want to make sure everybody gets to play a number of matches. So that will also be kind of a mixture of drills and match play. So, for the ones who are playing, or for the ones who aren't playing the matches, they'll be on a drill court, and then we'll try to make sure everybody gets one match per week. But those are two programs that we're really kind of excited about.
Awesome. Well, you can learn more about Soki Tennis at SokiTennis.net or visit their Facebook page at facebook.com/SOKY tennis. Courtesy of USTA Kentucky, it's time now to nominate Kentucky's best. Award nominations are now open for USTA Kentucky's annual awards. Let's celebrate the best in Kentucky. The nomination window closes on September 15th. Also, the adult 65 and over state championship team registration deadline is September 10th. The championships will be held in Louisville at the Plainview Swim and Tennis Clay Courts on September 22nd through 24th. I love the Plainview courts. For more information on these and other events happening with USTA Kentucky, visit KentuckyTennis.com, or they are at USTA Kentucky on Facebook and Twitter, and you can follow them and check their website for tournaments, grants, events, team events, and everything else going on in Kentucky tennis.
We talked about the facility being recognized for the outstanding facility by the USTA. We won the state award last year and accepted that award at those awards. They have a great USTA weekend in January or early February, and there's a ton of categories. So, we won the Facility of the Year award. There's, obviously a boys and a girls player of the year. There's a diversity and inclusion. There's a family of the year. There's a most improved boy and girl. There's a Parks and Recreation award. There's a tennis official of the year, tennis professional of the year, volunteer of the year. So if you go to USDAKY.com, you'll see the entire list of all the different categories that you could nominate someone for, in your community. I
think you missed Media Excellence
That's right.
Award.
I'm sorry.
You missed that one.
As a past winner, I can understand you want to point that out. Two-time winner, right?
Yeah.
Two-time winner.
Oh, 3 if you count Southern. Okay.
Well, right. You won the state award twice.
Yeah.
Once for the website and once for the podcast, right?
That's right.
It's nice that you were recognized for the podcast before I came on board. Probably won't win another award.
You had co-hosted.
But I wasn't the co-host.
Right. You had guest co-hosted several times, and that's probably the reason why it happened. We haven't had a challenge the call question in a while.
It's not really a challenge the call because it's not a question, but I saw something.
Do you have time?
I do, if you have time.
Okay, I thought you had to leave.
It won't take very long.
Okay,
but
go ahead.
I saw this when I was watching probably the event in maybe DC. I think is when I saw this. I think it was Tiafo, and Tiafo came to hit a ball that was short, and he came in like we've seen, and he flicked it cross court for the winner, but he ran into the net. And the official initially gave the point to his opponent because he ran into the net. But then he realized the error of his ways. And this is something I didn't know. We don't use them for our tournaments for the most part. You'll see them at college matches probably more than anything else. And that's the use of single sticks. So if you have a court that's a doubles court that is being used for singles, you're actually supposed to put single sticks in the doubles alley, and it makes the net at the single sideline the 42 inches that it's supposed to be. So when we play our tournaments, we're actually playing singles. We're playing with the net a little lower than it really is by regulation. Tiafo, when he came in, He hit the net, but it was outside of the single stick, which meant it was legal for him to run into the net.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So if you're playing singles and you're playing with single sticks, you can run into the net as long as it's the portion of the net that is outside the single stick, between the single stick and, say, the net post.
Okay.
And so he won the point.
You can also touch the net after the ball has bounced twice,
That's
right?
correct.
Okay.
That's correct. But the ball not bounced twice.
So if you're almost falling into it, as long as it's hit the ground a second time, then
I've done that several times.
Okay. I probably have
not in singles, but in doubles.
For sure.
I've waited for that ball to bounce twice before I run into the net. But
well,
I've never seen that. I didn't realize the single sticks would change where you could run into the net.
Well, that was a nice temporary fill-in for Challenge the Call. It's always cool to talk about interesting rules and things like that. So if you have a question about a tennis rule, I'm sure Chad can answer it. I can't. But it can be like you wonder why the CKTS does something this way instead of this way. And ask us, right, to challenge@gamesetmatchky.com. And we'll talk about it on the air. It's always interesting to discuss things like this. So please send us your questions. But other than that, we don't have any tennis nuts today to meet. We've gone on long enough anyway. But I've got somebody I've talked to that'll be our next tennis nut, and we'll interview them on an upcoming broadcast. And if you missed our first installment of Tennis Nuts, please check out our previous episode from June 2023, where we got to know Brian Hash, aka Brian the Intern from USTA Kentucky and Kentucky Sports Radio. But that's going to just about serve out another episode of Game Set Match Kentucky, and we appreciate everyone who's watching and listening. If you're an audio listener, you can subscribe with any podcast platform, basically all of the big ones anyway. Be sure to like us on Facebook so you get notified when we put out new episodes. Please also like the CKTS, that's Central Kentucky Tennis Series, on Facebook at facebook.com/CKTS Tour. Audio listeners, you can give us a review in your favorite podcast app, and please give us a 5-star rating. You can also visit GameSetMatchKY.com to go back through the archives all the way to when it began in 2018. Chad, I was looking back there the other day on old posts on the website, and you were co-host on the second episode.
Is that right?
So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
You can also follow us on Twitter at GameSetMatchKY. Chad is on Twitter at ChadYoungTennis, and I'm on Twitter at Chris Godby. Thanks again to our sponsors, Vision Cabinet Source and Family Medical Centers. And at long last, there's that sound. Hawkeye's telling us that we are out. Until next time, I'm Chris Godby. And who knows when next time is going to be? Could be after Chad gets back from New York. You know, might want to hear some
I
stories.
expect it to be at least that.
You better take some pictures.
Okay. I'll take some pictures and you can show them on the next podcast.
Yeah, even, when you're walking around Times Square like a tourist and all of that, and you go to the Statue of Liberty and Ground Zero, you can take some pictures, all right?
Will do.
Chris Godby with Chad Young, and this has been Game Set Match Kentucky.